Mr. Shegun Onibio is a journalist as well. Journalist. I was going to talk about journalists. Shegun, the truth is, honestly, you journalists are part of our problem too. Why we have judiciary, we have politicians, we have our spiritual leaders and religious leaders. Honestly, I forgot to add that journalists too, they are part of Nigeria's problem. Why did I say so? Now, I understand ethics sometimes. But again, one thing I always tell people, especially journalists, before you became a journalist, you were first a human being. Then you became a Nigerian before you became a journalist. So, I've always believed in laws are made for man, not man for law. Ethics are made for human beings, not human beings for ethics. Now, I do not subscribe to journalists who keeps being neutral, who wants to maintain that ethics of journalism by being neutral. When things are falling apart, when it is obvious that things are going bad, are going south, when we need to really come up and speak up and criticize, send criticism to the channel that deserves to be criticized. We don't do that. We rather want to be, oh, I'm a journalist, I have to maintain the ethics of my profession. Maintain the ethics of my profession when, if you fail to do the needful, people will die. People will suffer. Things will go bad. And you want to play the self-righteous. It is happening in the US. It is happening in Nigeria. I feel pain and bad that when you see things that are glaring, you don't need any special interpretation to tell you this thing is outrightly evil or bad, that this government or this official did, or that, or this is going on, that is going on. You don't need anyone to interpret. It's just a clear thing, but you see journalists just sitting on the sideline, neither here nor there, trying to balance the whole thing. Even though I have known you for a while, based on some of your things I see, I follow you, you read, you write, and your comments, and even on this platform or whatever. So I know your predisposition. So I think you are not in that class, but you know what I'm talking about. I've watched so many journalists and so many whatever. I don't want to go in mentioning names for now. I'll mention the names when it is necessary. But for now, it's a serious thing that it's all over the place. You know what I'm talking about. So you have anything to say about that?
I am happy you mentioned this, because I was going to add that thank God you are a journalist now too. By your program, so you are also guilty. You see, we keep saying this in local parlance. Person we wise, we no foolish small, it go disappear, and nobody go hear his name again. You see, some of these things, when you need, no matter how angry you are, you can't go on the streets and start to destroy things. And where words will get to, human beings may not get there in 10 years. And that's one of the reasons why we also need to be very careful with the kind of information that we push out. There are channels of pushing some of this information so that you don't come in collusion with the government. Yes, you have a right, but there is a place where your right stops. And even in courts, even if they take you to court, you can't defend yourself when they start to tell you, this is what the law says, and you start to talk. I have some of my colleagues who are locked up today. They are locked up, and if you ask, they will tell you they wish they had probably handled the situation a bit different. We have had people who have been hunted down. Bagalda Kauto, a barrister, spoke about him here, was blown up because they couldn't reach him. They blew up a hotel just to get to him. That is minus other people that have been tragically picked up and systematically put off. So, in as much as we want to report some of these ills that we see, which is, of course, in the news, some of these things we're talking about, the LGBTQ thing that we're talking about. A lot of people, a lot of media outlets spoke about it vehemently against it. And I think I watched 2 days ago on Arise TV where it was being debated. Senior Ruben Abati was there, Rufai Husseini was there, and the other lady. And they were debating this issue, and they were referring back to the laws that says, look, in Nigeria, we don't accept all of these things, so why are we reversing back to this? So there's always a stop point, aside from saying it and galvanizing the people to react in a particular position. It is you can't go beyond that. Anything that you do beyond that becomes a crime. And of course, you also need to be very objective in what that you can influence people to react in a particular way, either positively or negatively. But that being said, we are not relenting. We will continue to do the best that we can, especially in the face of all of the challenges that we face as journalists. It's been very difficult again, also because the profession has been occupied now by people who are fakes. And that's one of the reasons why I don't identify with NUJ. And the reason is because I know a couple of people who all they do is read newspapers or supply newspapers, who are editors today, who never went to school to study that mass communication, journalism, or anything related to the field. As long as you can speak well and write well and present yourself in a manner, you suddenly become a journalist. And that's one of the reasons why at one point we had to distinctively distinguish what we are. They refer to us generally as journalists, but the general term for journalists is usually referring to people who do print journalism, because there are different branches of communication. There is broadcast, there is print, and there is the new media that we have now, like what you're doing here, projecting your views on using the internet. Okay, so we have had people who don't deserve to be in this profession. This is one profession where, unlike medicine or engineering, where you can't fake it. Yes, there are people who come out and say they're doctors who do treatments and do surgeries, but they are very, very few in number compared to the people who claim that they are journalists. You need to come and attend some occasions to see the number of journalists. Some of them are even actually half of the population of the people who would attend the occasion. I agree to a certain extent that we need to do more, but I would disagree also that we are not doing enough. But there is a limit to which you can do that within the law. And that's one of the reasons that it seems as if people are being a bit restricted.
All right, Barrister, you have anything to add to that? So call it a day.
For once, I prefer to rest on what JIBRIN has said.
Okay. All right.
Barrister.
All right. Anyway, this one was just by the way, just whatever. I just remember that I needed to say it, and that's why I said it. All right, thank you so much, gentlemen. God bless you for creating time and going out of your busy schedule to do this with us. This is what we can. This is at least how we can actually contribute to what is happening in Nigeria. We really need it. I just hope that this situation will not tarry that long. Just pray that something really happens, because people are suffering. People are suffering, honestly. The country is in dire need of saving, seriously. Thank you so much. And remain blessed. Viewers, see you on next show.
It's a pleasure being here, always.
All right.
Thank you.
Enjoy yourself, man. Bye. Yeah. Okay.